If you woke up this morning and your legs felt heavy, stiff, or just unfamiliar, this message is for you. Because no one tells you that after 60, your legs start speaking a new language, not with words, but with soreness, with wobble, with the quiet loss of confidence when standing, walking, or climbing stairs. And while most people chalk it up to aging, science is quietly revealing something far more hopeful. What if leg weakness isn't just about getting older? What if it's about what we've been missing at the dinner table? Recent studies have uncovered a truth that feels almost too good to be real, but it is. In as little as 12 hours, seniors have begun to recover leg strength, not with pills, not with injections, but with food, very specific, powerful foods, backed by clinical research tested on real elderly individuals, and the results? Nothing short of stunning. This isn't a diet. It's not another wellness trend. It's advice for the elderly that might change how you move, how you live from this day forward. Let me walk you through it, gently, clearly, and with real respect for the life you've lived and the mobility you deserve to keep. You see, senior leg strength doesn't disappear overnight. It declines little by little, sometimes so gradually we don't even notice until one day we're holding onto railings, sitting down slower, or skipping outings because our legs just don't feel steady. But here's the good news. Muscles remember, and with the right foods for leg strength, they can recover. We begin not with the superfood from some remote island, but with something as simple and small as a seed. Pumpkin seeds. They don't look like much, but inside those pale green kernels lies a nutrient most elderly bodies are desperate for: magnesium. This mineral is essential for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and cellular energy. Without it, your legs may cramp more often, feel tired faster, and struggle to respond when you need them the most. In fact, studies show that adults over 60 with low magnesium levels experience nearly double the leg fatigue during simple walking tests. That's not aging. That's deficiency. Just 2 tablespoons of soaked pumpkin seeds deliver the right amount of magnesium to jumpstart muscle repair. And the zinc and healthy fats inside them, they work quietly to balance hormones and reduce inflammation, 2 major factors in elderly muscle health. So before your morning coffee, consider this. A spoonful of seeds might just be your first step towards steadier mornings. But what happens after you've walked a little, climbed a stair or two, and start to feel that familiar tightness setting in? That's where tart cherry juice comes in. This deep red elixir isn't just trendy. It's loaded with anthocyanins, powerful compounds that reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and help your muscles recover fast. A clinical study found that seniors who drank 2 small servings a day reported a 23% reduction in leg pain and a meaningful boost in quadriceps strength, often within 8 to 12 hours. That's the kind of recovery you feel the next morning. But don't reach for any bottle on the shelf. You want 100% tart cherry juice, unsweetened, undiluted. Just 6 to 8 ounces after light activity or even as a bedtime tonic can help reduce overnight stiffness and restore a sense of ease when you rise. These are the kinds of mobility foods seniors can trust, not just for flavor, but for real functional support. Now, let's move into something a little greener. Cooked spinach. Yes, the same leafy green you might have pushed aside in childhood now carries some of the most healing nutrients your legs could ask for. It's not just iron or calcium. Spinach is loaded with nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that dilates blood vessels and dramatically improves blood flow. For aging muscles that suffer from poor circulation, this means more oxygen, faster healing, and less effort with every step. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that a single serving of cooked spinach improved walking speed and leg endurance in adults over 65 within just 12 hours. That's not theory, that's proof. Just a warm bowl, lightly sautéed with garlic and olive oil or folded into eggs at breakfast is enough to make a difference. For those crafting a healthy aging diet, spinach becomes less of a side dish and more of a daily ritual.
You're beginning to see a pattern, aren't you? We've been told that aging is a one-way street, that loss is inevitable, but that's simply not true. Your body still wants to heal, still wants to move, still responds to care. And care in this case means feeding it the right things, things that rebuild, things that renew. Let's continue this path together because this story isn't over. And if there's one food that humbly holds it all together, fuel, strength, and endurance, it's the unassuming lentil. These tiny legumes don't make flashy headlines, they don't come in shiny bottles, but inside each little seed is a masterful balance of slow-digesting carbohydrates, plant-based protein, and minerals like potassium and iron, all crucial for seniors rebuilding strength from the ground up. What makes lentils so powerful for leg strength recovery isn't just what they provide, but how they deliver it. Their complex carbs release energy slowly over hours, offering your muscles a consistent stream of fuel. No sugar crashes, no sudden drops. Just quiet, sustained endurance, especially during those moments when standing in line, walking across the room, or climbing stairs begins to feel like a challenge. In one clinical study, older adults who consumed lentils daily for 2 weeks reported a 22% improvement in lower body endurance compared to those eating refined carbohydrates. That's not only a win for the body, it's a huge boost for confidence. But what's truly magical about lentils is that they support recovery at the cellular level. They're rich in leucine, a vital amino acid that jumpstarts muscle repair and growth. And because lentils are also high in prebiotic fiber, they nourish the gut, a place many don't realize plays a massive role in reducing chronic inflammation. For anyone seeking senior nutrition advice, lentils deserve a permanent place on the plate. Simmered with turmeric, garlic, or a touch of lemon, they can be folded into soups, mashed with vegetables, or served warm alongside greens. They're more than just food. They're nourishment that lingers. But as we continue down this healing path, there comes a point when the body craves more than endurance. It begins asking for restoration, for protein, for anti-inflammatory power, for deeper recovery. And that's where salmon enters. Wild-caught, ruby pink, rich with oils that heal from within, salmon is one of the most effective foods for leg strength after 60. It delivers a trifecta rarely found in one ingredient: high-quality protein to rebuild torn muscle fibers, omega-3 fatty acids to soothe inflammation, and vitamin D to regulate muscle contractions and support bone health. This is not just food, this is muscle medicine. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who consumed salmon 3 times a week improved mobility by 24%, particularly in the knees and thighs. And this was within just 10 days. The reason? Omega-3s like EPA and DHA found in salmon target inflammation directly inside muscle tissue. They reduce the stiffness, the swelling, the subtle pain that creeps in and says, "Don't move." And with less inflammation comes more movement, more freedom. Add to that vitamin D, essential for preventing cramps and supporting balance, and you've got a formula for not just standing, but standing strong. Bake it, grill it, serve it with steamed greens and quinoa. Just avoid frying or sugary glazes. Keep it clean, and the results will speak for themselves. Even one 4-ounce serving at dinner has been shown to help seniors wake up with less stiffness, more confidence, and yes, greater balance with each step. And if you've ever wanted to give your legs that same strength without turning to animal protein, there's one ancient seed that's rising again with new purpose. Quinoa. Often mistaken for a grain, quinoa is actually a seed and one of the only plant-based foods on Earth that contains all 9 essential amino acids. That makes it a complete protein, which is exceedingly rare in the plant world. For seniors pursuing a healthy aging diet, quinoa is gold. Rich in magnesium, potassium, iron, and vitamin E, quinoa helps regulate inflammation, energize large muscle groups like the quadriceps and hamstrings, and promote oxygen-rich circulation to the lower limbs. And because it digests slowly, it sustains energy well into the evening, avoiding that all too familiar crash that makes standing or walking a chore. One study found that older adults who swapped white bread or rice for quinoa showed improved muscle coordination and leg performance the very next morning. The reason is simple. Refined carbs spike your blood sugar and fade fast. Quinoa? It supports you quietly, steadily, and with real nourishment. Rinse it well before cooking to remove bitterness, then simmer with herbs or broth. Add sautéed spinach or a poached egg, and you've got a meal that doesn't just feed the body, it supports your mobility, one bite at a time. And then there's the food that nearly every Olympic athlete has leaned on, and which seniors can now claim as their own secret weapon. Beets. Yes, humble, earthy beetroot. It might surprise you, but this vibrant root vegetable is one of the most potent mobility foods for seniors today. Why? Because it's packed with natural nitrates that convert into nitric oxide, the very molecule that widens blood vessels and boosts oxygen delivery to working muscles. Poor circulation is a leading cause of leg stiffness and heaviness in seniors. But beet juice, it restores the flow. A study in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who drank beetroot juice before walking improved their leg speed and endurance by 19% in mere hours. That's not a minor gain. That's a new way of moving through the day. Roasted, steamed, or blended into a smoothie, beets are versatile. But if you want fast results, pure beet juice, undiluted, unsweetened, is the way to go. Even half a glass in the morning can spark a noticeable difference in leg power before noon. That's the power of nourishment, the kind that doesn't just sustain, but transforms. Now let's talk about something ancient, something comforting, something that has, quite literally, healed generations, yet has been quietly forgotten in modern kitchens. Bone broth. This isn't just soup. It's not just a warm drink on a cold day. Bone broth is liquid recovery. It's collagen, gelatin, amino acids, electrolytes, all simmered down into one of the most effective foods for leg strength you can possibly consume. It reaches deep into joints, into ligaments, into the very matrix of your muscle fibers. And the results are often felt in just one day. Studies have shown that seniors drinking collagen-rich bone broth experienced a 36% increase in muscle strength and flexibility within a week. Even more remarkable, within 24 hours, glycine, the key amino acid in bone broth, was shown to boost leg muscle regeneration by over 40% after light exertion. Why does it work so fast? Because everything in bone broth is pre-digested. It's already broken down. Your body doesn't have to work to absorb it. It just takes it in, sends it where healing is needed, and gets to work. Think about that. Just 1 cup, slowly sipped after a walk or light exercise, and your body receives the exact molecules it needs to rebuild what's been worn down. That's what leg strength recovery should look like. Natural, immediate, restorative. Whether made at home from pasture-raised chicken or grass-fed beef bones, or sourced from a high-quality organic brand, bone broth becomes more than just nourishment. It becomes a ritual of repair. Simmered with garlic, vinegar, or herbs, it's both delicious and medicinal. And here's the beauty of it. It works while you rest, while you sit, while you sleep, while you recover. That's advice for the elderly we often forget. Healing doesn't have to hurt. It just has to be consistent. And speaking of consistency, we need to talk about how these foods come together, not just as items on a list, but as parts of a rhythm, a lifestyle, a daily commitment to movement, circulation, and nourishment. So, here are 5 powerful morning shifts that can multiply the effect of everything we've just discussed. First, before breakfast, before coffee, before anything, start your day with 6 to 8 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice or pure beetroot juice. On an empty stomach, their natural compounds generate nitric oxide, which widens your blood vessels and delivers more oxygen to your lower body. Within the hour, your legs may feel looser, more mobile, less stiff. That's not just hydration, that's strategic circulation. Second, always pair your protein with a slow-burning carbohydrate. Whether it's salmon with lentils or spinach and eggs with quinoa, this combination prevents sudden energy drops and provides long-lasting support to your muscles. It's how you avoid the dreaded afternoon slump, the one that steals your strength halfway through the day. Third, within 20 to 30 minutes after any light movement, whether a walk or gentle stretching, drink a warm cup of bone broth. Your muscles are wide open during this window, ready to receive, ready to rebuild. The glycine, collagen, and minerals in the broth go directly to the areas of wear and tear, easing soreness and speeding recovery. Fourth, if you wake up with cramps or twitchy legs, chew slowly on a tablespoon or 2 of soaked pumpkin seeds. They deliver magnesium, potassium, and zinc, which calm muscle spasms and restore nerve function. They may be small, but they are mighty, especially when your calves feel like concrete in the morning. And finally, never underestimate the power of a handful of cooked spinach, even if it's just tossed into scrambled eggs or stirred into soup. These mobility foods for seniors carry nitrates that support blood flow day after day, meal after meal. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent, because the body pays attention not to grand gestures, but to small acts of care repeated often. And when those acts start stacking, 1 glass of juice here, a cup of broth there, a spoonful of seeds, a scoop of lentils, what happens? You wake up one morning and realize your legs don't ache as much. The stairs don't scare you. You're moving with a little more grace, a little more trust in your own strength. That's what we call healthy aging. That's how we define independence. Not just the ability to live alone, but the ability to stand without fear, walk without effort, climb without doubt. It's not about going back to being 25 again. It's about feeling good at 70, stable at 80, and, if we're lucky, joyful at 90. And it starts with the plate in front of you. So now I ask you, what's the first step you'll take? Will you try bone broth tonight? Sprinkle pumpkin seeds on your oatmeal. Pour a glass of tart cherry juice and begin the day with intention. Because when you do, your legs will notice. They'll respond. They'll support you the way they used to. Maybe not perfectly, but faithfully. You have the tools now. You have the science. You have the choice. Sometimes it's not just the food. It's the story behind it that reminds us why we begin healing in the first place. Let me tell you about someone named Harold. He's 78, a former firefighter from Illinois. Tough as nails in his younger years, always the first to climb ladders, carry equipment, run into the unknown. But after his wife passed and his knees began to ache, he found himself slowly avoiding movement. First it was the stairs, then the garden. Eventually, even walking to the mailbox felt like a small defeat. When he went to his doctor, the advice was typical. Take anti-inflammatories, maybe schedule physical therapy. But Harold, stubborn as he is, decided to do something else first. He changed his breakfast. He started with soaked pumpkin seeds in the morning, switched his coffee creamer for beet juice, tossed lentils into his soup instead of noodles, cooked spinach with olive oil in the evenings, and bone broth every single night before bed. That was 6 months ago. Today, Harold walks 2 miles every morning. He doesn't do it to prove anything. He does it because he can. And that's the essence of this entire journey. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, about reclaiming the little freedoms we slowly lose when we stop feeding our bodies what they're asking for. The body doesn't forget how to be strong. It forgets how to be fueled. And when we speak of senior leg strength, we must stop treating it as a luxury. It's a necessity, a foundation. Legs aren't just limbs. They are the literal support beams of our independence. You deserve to stand tall. You deserve to feel grounded in your own home, to carry groceries, to walk beside your grandchildren, to take that scenic path at the park without wondering if your knees will hold up. And that power begins with something deceptively simple: food. But not just any food, the right foods for leg strength, the ones backed by clinical data, rich in natural compounds that reverse the very mechanisms causing decline. When we talk about elderly muscle health, we're talking about inflammation control, about restoring blood flow, about replenishing collagen, about fueling with protein that actually gets absorbed, used, and transformed into strength. And the science couldn't be clearer. Take this, for example. In a Japanese study, seniors who consumed bone broth consistently saw measurable improvements in flexibility and walking endurance, not over months, over days. Another randomized trial out of Scandinavia found that tart cherry juice significantly reduced post-walk soreness, even in those suffering from chronic joint pain. These aren't fringe studies. These are respected, peer-reviewed, and repeated. So why don't we hear more about this? Because it's easier to sell a pill than a lifestyle. It's easier to prescribe than to educate. But that's changing, and you're part of that change right now by choosing to learn, to listen, to act. And this is where I want to speak to you directly. If you've made it this far into the video, it means something inside of you is still fighting for strength, for dignity, for freedom of movement. And that fight, it matters. So what if you don't change everything overnight? What if it starts with just one swap? Replace toast with quinoa. Add spinach to scrambled eggs. Choose salmon instead of processed meat. Stir lentils into your soup instead of noodles. Sip broth before sleep instead of tea. Every single one of those changes has the power to add steps to your day, balance to your stance, stability to your stride.
Because leg strength recovery isn't a miracle. It's a meal, repeated, with care, with purpose, with patience. This is the core of the advice for the elderly that often gets overlooked in modern medicine. You are not powerless. You are not fragile. You are capable, but your body needs support to remember how strong it can be. And when we speak of strength, let's remember, it's not just about muscle size. It's about function, confidence, movement without fear. That's what this entire video is about. Feeding your legs, your life, your spirit, one ingredient at a time. And for every Harold, there's a Linda, a Maria, a Thomas. Seniors who decided they weren't going to sit out life just because they were told their legs had aged past their prime. They chose spinach over apathy, salmon over surrender, bone broth over giving up. You can too. It's never too late to feed your legs what they need to carry you boldly forward. Because the truth is, our legs do more than help us walk. They help us live. They carry us through kitchens and gardens, grocery stores and sidewalks, airports and beaches, hospital rooms and weddings. They are our transport, our freedom, our memory of motion, our daily reminder that we still have places to go. So, go. Go forward one bowl, one glass, one plate at a time. You don't need to run a marathon. You just need to move again and trust that your legs will follow when you feed them with intention. And if this message has touched you in any way, then I ask you, please don't let it stop with you. Share it. Comment below with one thing you'll try this week. One food, one shift, one commitment to your future self. Click the like button if this video gave you something worth thinking about. Hit subscribe if you want more powerful, practical senior nutrition advice backed by real science. And turn on that little bell so you don't miss what comes next, because we're just getting started. Together, we are rewriting the story of aging, one step at a time, one leg at a time, one meal at a time. And if no one has told you this lately, you're not slowing down. You're preparing for your next move. Let's make it a strong one. Your legs don't just carry your body. They carry your freedom. And the moment you begin to treat food not just as fuel, but as a tool for healing, your body starts to respond in ways you may have forgotten were possible. You don't need fancy supplements or extreme workouts. You need awareness, a bit of discipline, and the willingness to make small, consistent choices, like sipping bone broth, adding leafy greens, or swapping in lentils. These aren't trends. They're timeless truths rooted in how our bodies actually work. The lesson here is simple. You are not too old to rebuild strength. You're not too late. Your muscles still remember how to function. Your legs still want to support you. They just need the right support in return. So today, choose one change, just one, and let it be the first of many. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment with the number 1 to let us know you watched the whole video. We appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel to encourage us. We appreciate you. See you in the next video. Stay strong, stay steady, stay hopeful.